What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the Hillbilly Hideout. Today we're taking a look at two of the most recognized and recommended bushcraft knives available today. We got the MoraKniv Companion and the Gerber Strongarm. Sweden versus America. You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. And today we're going to put these two knives to the test and determine which one is the better bushcraft knife. So I'm a baton wood with them. I'm gonna do feather sticks, make fire, and then I'm gonna carve some trap triggers, you know, maybe a fish spear or something like that, and then we'll determine which one is the better bushcraft knife. Alright guys, now seeing as that it's snowing while I'm filming this and it is pretty cold outside, I'm gonna start with seeing which one builds a better fire. So I'm gonna start with the MoraKniv. I got some of these 2x6s here that I'm gonna baton off, and then I got some oak and hickory or whatever they are, some actual hardwood. We'll split that. Okay, it's these little 2x6s for the MoraKniv ain't no problem at all. Right through it, nothing wrong with the blade or anything. Yeah, this MoraKniv is having no trouble getting through this little 2x6. Now let's grab the Gerber Strongarm and see if it can go through as easy as the MoraKniv, which I have no doubts that it will. Maybe even easier. Yeah, that thick drop point belly on it really helps a lot. The Scandi grind on the MoraKniv, it's good for carving, but you just saw that. I'd say this is better for chopping. Knife steels on this Gerber. Both of these knives are going to be linked in the description, by the way, if you want to pick up one. But the Gerber is sold out right now. I guess they sold out for Christmas time. But this is a 420 high carbon stainless steel blade with a black rubberized grip. And for the MoraKniv, I couldn't find really anything on their website about which steel it was. Whenever I looked up the Companion on their website, it just said recycled stainless steel. So do with that what you will. But me personally, I'm gonna give the point for batoning, at least for the 2x6s, to the Strongarm. Now I'm gonna bust out some actual hardwood, see if it won't go through it. But the MoraKniv, you know, this piece might be a bit too big for it, so I'm gonna start taking smaller chunks off the edges. And I don't think that's driving any further. It might go in. No. Damn, that did not want to go in at all. Let's try this edge. Another con about the MoraKniv, which, I mean, it's still a decent knife, it's going through now. But this is not full tang construction. The Gerber Strongarm is full tang construction, and it's got a thick belly on it too, or spine on it too. This is only, I think it's a quarter tang, or I believe it might be 3/4 tang, I don't know. But I mean, it's sturdy, you don't have no wobble or play in it, but it's a rat tail tang, so it's a very thin tang compared to the Strongarm. And you know, it knocked a piece off, but for the Strongarm, I feel like it does it a bit better. This Gerber definitely went through this oak, or I think this is white oak, I don't know, I ain't a wood expert. Anyways, this Gerber is definitely going through the, whatever wood this is, a lot easier than that MoraKniv. You can definitely take the oak out a lot more than you can with this Mora. You have to take a lot smaller chunks off with the MoraKniv, just because it's a smaller blade. This is a 4-inch blade, and I believe the Gerber is 4.3 or so. So even that little bit helps as far as being able to chop through more wood. Yeah, that Mora just doesn't have the weight on the belly of this knife to get through this. Oh, so that's a point to the Gerber. So the Gerber gets the point for being able to chop through this stuff. Yeah, the Gerber has no problem getting through that. No chipping or rolling on the edge of either of these knives. So they both got good heat treats and stuff. They're not chipping or rolling or anything. Getting a little scuffed up from going through the wood, but that's alright. I think I've showcased them batoning decent enough. Now I'm gonna do fire prep with them, just to it's cold, I want to fire. Anyways, here's the pieces that I chopped with the Strongarm and the Mora. So now I'm going to prepare them down into smaller chunks. You want your small kindling, and then you want medium size, and then you want big kindling. So for these pieces, you get some nice little narrow strips. You just cut them into multiple pieces. You get some thin pieces like that. That's good to start the fire with. Did some with the Mora, now we'll do some with the Gerber here. Both of them do just fine as far as, you know, batoning wood down to small little pieces for fire. So I don't know, neither one does it better than the other, except when it comes to actual hardwood. Okay, that's good enough. Alright guys, so I got some fat wood here. I'm gonna prepare some with the MoraKniv and then prepare some with the Gerber Strongarm and see which one prepares firewood better. So one thing I will say is a con about the MoraKniv is, from factory, it does not come with a 90-degree spine for striking ferro rods and stuff. I did have to put my own on it with a file. The Gerber Strongarm does come with a 90-degree spine, and that's a really good sharp 90-degree spine. So that's one pro for the Strongarm, as well as it actually comes ready to make a fire over the MoraKniv Companion. Alright guys, so the MoraKniv does pretty decent as far as making fire goes, you know, for wood prep and stuff, scraping down your tinder to make it more processed. That way it'll catch a flame or spark better from a ferro rod. That's an important part of bushcraft. Now we're gonna move on to the Gerber Strongarm and see how it prepares. Fucking spider, get the fuck out of here. I don't like spiders. Okay guys, the 90-degree spine from the Gerber Strongarm definitely performs better as far as scraping your shavings. So I'll move up closer to the camera so you can see. Whenever you're scraping shavings off of fat wood or even wood chunks and stuff, I don't know if you can see, but you take a corner off of the tinder that you're scraping, like it's fat wood, and your 90-degree spine, you run it down the corner, just scrape it down. And what you're doing is getting these little shavings to run off the edge of the fat wood here, and this takes the spark from a ferro rod a lot better. Now let's see how the Gerber Strongarm performs cutting feather sticks. I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I think those feather sticks from the Gerber Strongarm are a lot better, which I didn't show you the feather sticks from the MoraKniv Companion. That was simply because I couldn't cut good feather sticks with it. I think the Gerber Strongarm definitely cuts a lot better feather sticks. Now, it's time to start a fire because, like I said, I'm cold. Okay, guys, so this pile right here was the pile that I prepared with the MoraKniv Companion, and this pile over here, this pile right here is the pile that I prepared with the Gerber Strongarm. Now, both of these are going to strike the ferro rod perfectly fine. I already know that, but we're just going to see. Oh, okay. First strike with the MoraKniv Companion. I already got it lit. Now we're going to see the Gerber Strongarm. First strike again. So, again, no problem with either one of these. Alrighty guys, so now I built a fire. I don't know if you can see it in the background. Both of them did decent as far as fire preparing goes, so batoning and all that stuff. I am going to give the point to the Gerber though, because the fat belly on it definitely helps as far as batoning goes and everything. It surprised me that the Strongarm even did better as far as making like the wood shavings and curls and stuff, because you would think the Scandi grind on the Companion would be able to curl the wood a bit better, but maybe it's because I've had this knife for a really long time. I've used it a long time, so I'm used to working with it over the Companion here, which I've had it for a while too. I've had it probably about 3 years now, but I've used this knife a lot more than I have the Companion. So operator preference, you know, I'm better with this knife. But now we're going to get into we're going to see which knife is better for chopping. Okay. Hey, I launched that sucker like 8 feet that way. Now we're going to chop off another one. We're going to go through this little piece where there's a knot right here, see how that works. Okay, so the Mora definitely chops decent. I'm not going to shave that one. Now we're going to chop 2 off with the Strongarm. See how it goes. So both of these knives do decent for chopping. Okay guys, so now I got a little branch here that we're gonna carve out some the trap lock. So the Mora, which this isn't very thick, but the Mora still does pretty decent for chopping. And it's a green piece of wood, so I'm gonna try to, there you go. Now let's stick the Strongarm up here and see how it does. Alright. So now we're gonna compare the two and see for like woodworking stuff, you know, carving your trap locks, you know, like a figure 4, you have a notch here and a notch here and then they lock together. We're gonna carve some of those. Okay. The MoraKniv carves them pretty decent. Okay. So, both of these carve it pretty good. Let me shave this down. If I was better at carving traps, I'd say these are be okay, but I'm not the best when it comes to this stuff. But you know, if you could make those go in together, you know. Now we're gonna see how well you could do it with the Gerber. I can already see that the Mora is a lot better for woodworking as far as this goes. Yeah, the Mora is hands down easier to work into the wood and make, you know, trap blocks and stuff. Yeah, guys, the Mora is a lot easier to carve with. I'd say that Scandi grind, you know, it's an edge made for woodworking. It's definitely a lot easier than this. Now, we're gonna do some tip retention tests. I figured this would be a little good idea to see. So I'm stab it in the wood, move it around with each of these. Probably, I don't know, we'll do 10 times each. Yep, nothing wrong with the Gerbers. The tip's very stout on this knife. I'll show you. The tip is very stout on this knife. It's very thick. So I had no doubts that it would break. The Mora, however, is pretty thin, so we'll see how it handles. Yep, that's a pat. Now for the Mora's tip, like it's Scandi grind, that's very, very thin. So we'll see if it handles as good as the Strongarm here. Yeah, the Mora survived as well, so they both have very good tips on them. You're not going to have to worry about breaking them off. But definitely a hot spot on the Mora. I could feel it right in here starting to get pretty hot whenever I was doing that. So, I don't know. I guess that's pretty good tests to see which one's better bushcraft knife. You know, obviously I could go further and, you know, skin some squirrels or something, but I don't have no squirrels to skin, so I'm not gonna do that. But I would say as far as food prep goes, if I had to guess, this knife, the MoraKniv Companion, would be better for it. But if you're just wanting, you know, a basic knife, you're wanting to do some woodworking, right? Both of them is gonna carve pretty decent. That's that Mora. It gets in there and takes out big chunks. It just, that edge just bites in there and gets all these decent sized chunks out. You know, you could obviously do fire prep with it. If you was better at carving, you know, trap pegs like I trapping. If you're better than me at carving trap pegs, you're gonna do good with this knife. But I just suck at doing that, so. But yeah, that Mora cuts into that wood really good. It carves great. This strong arm, it don't cut as deep, but it still cuts good enough, you know. Like if you're just wanting a bushcraft knife that's like you can beat it into wood and baton like I did with these, both of them's gonna work great. If you're wanting one that's gonna be able to make fire, you know, both of them's gonna work great. If you're wanting a dedicated wood chopping tool, I would probably stick with the Mora. You know, you could do a lot more woodwork with the Mora than you can the strong arm. But you know, overall, as far as the ultimate bushcraft knife goes, I think I'm gonna have to give it to the Mora. The only reason I say that is the Mora is 15 bucks on Amazon, and you know, they're everywhere. You can always find these in stock. This, whenever I picked it up a few years ago, the Gerber Strongarm, I want to say it was 60 bucks whenever I picked it up. Whenever I was looking up the link to post this in my description, it sold out for one, so you're going to be able to get the Mora before you get the Strongarm. And the Strongarm went up to 90 bucks. So, if you're wanting a dedicated bushcraft knife, there's better options you can get for 90 bucks over this Gerber. Or if you're just wanting to keep it as cheap as possible, why not spend the 15? And these might have went up too. These might be like 20 bucks now for all I know. But the last time I seen them on Amazon, they was 15 bucks. 15 bucks, you break it, it's not gonna hurt your feelings. If you lose it, you're not gonna cry about it. Over this, 90 bucks, if you break it, it might hurt your feelings a little bit, you know? So, if you're wanting something that can chop, you know, like, if you're wanting something that can chop, yeah, maybe get you the Gerber. And again, all this is just going to come down to personal experiences with each knife and your personal opinion. Even though I think that the Mora Companion beats this Gerber Strongarm for the ultimate survival knife, you might think that being able to do this with a knife is more important, so the Gerber wins. But if I was going to sit here and do this with a knife, I would just, you know, get my axe out. But this Mora knife does not have the weight behind it to chop like the Gerber does. But again, I wouldn't use a knife like this, so this really doesn't matter to me. So, in my opinion, anyways, the Mora Companion is the winner of the ultimate bushcraft knife. The Gerber Strongarm, I wouldn't hesitate to carry this around with me in the woods or going hunting or something. I know both of these knives, if I have either one on me and something, I get lost in the woods or something, I'm gonna do okay with both of them. So if you like this video, go ahead and leave a like, hit the subscribe button, comment down below if you agree that the Mora knife wins this competition over the Strongarm, or if you have any other bushcraft knives or any other type of knife or anything you want me to review, comment it down below and hopefully I'll be able to review it for you. Stay tuned for the next one. See ya.